Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Good evening, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss conquered. I've told you that this subject has been tackled when we were regularly having our lectures in the university. But let us make some sort of quick revision to what is conquered. Please, student, I want your participation. I want your active questions. Try to make more discussion to the points that you haven't got well understood. First of all, let us see what is conquered. Grammatically, this is a concept. Conquered is a concept that is used in grammatical theory and description. Refers to what? Refer to formal relationship that exists, formal relationships that exist between elements of a grammar, يعني elements of sentence. In simple terms, conquered, otherwise known as agreements. يعني conquered equals grammatical agreement. Simply means that a form of one word requires a corresponding form of another. Again, it is an agreement, a grammatical agreement, means that a form of one word requires a corresponding form of another. As you have known, because conquered is something well known, it is something outstanding subject in grammar. There are various kinds of conquered English because the principle of agreement between the forms is very central to syntax, as the whole point about syntax. What is syntax? Interrelationship between linguistic structure. So let us indulge with our course, Quirk, and please pay more attention because we are going to delete some notes. First of all, or the first kind of conquered, which is the most common type, which is what's the subject verb conquered. As we have said, it is the most important and the most common. There is some sort of grammatical agreement between the subject and its verb. يعني if the subject is singular, I put a singular verb. If the subject is a plural, I put a plural verb. This is the most common. I think you all know the structure. But this is something in general. If I have a clause, you know a clause? A clause that's a clause, ing clause, ed participle clause, all kinds of a clause, adverbial clause, in the position of subjects. A clause in the position of the subject. It counts are singular for purposes of conquer. انتبهوا عليه. How they got there. هذه كلها it is the subject. How they got there. It is a subject in a form of what? In a form of a clause. هذه doesn't concern me. How they got there doesn't concern me. Why I put doesn't, not do not? Because I have the subject as a clause. You see? Again, there is another example. To treat them as hostages is criminal. This is the clause. To treat them as hostages, it is all a subject as a clause. It is what is, not are. Again, the same is true for prepositional phrases if they are acting as subjects. After the exams is the time to relax. After the exams كأنه هذه it is okay يعني تشتغل شغل الclose. After the exams, it is the subject in the form of a prepositional phrase, is the time to relax. Again, we have nominal relative clauses. On the other hand, nominal nominal. يعني I can treat them as what? As noun phrases because they are what? In a place of nouns. Since they are equivalent to noun phrases, may have a plural as well as singular according to what we have. يعني what were once human dwellings are not is. Oh, we are going later on why are not is. Yeah. According to the notes, please student pay more attention. Note number A, leave it. Note number A, leave it. Move to note number B. It is included. Note number B, included. Apparent exceptions to the conquered rule arise with singularity. If you remember, we have certain words that ends with s. This s not as a plural. It is within the original structure of the words, like linguistics, pragmatics, phonetics, physics. You see, missiles, billiards, dominoes, mathematics. So I treat them as what? As singular. In contrast to what? To plural noun lacking inflection. يعني عندي cattle, people, clergy. You know there is no s at the end. But what? I treat them as what? As a plural. Number C is included. Plural words and phrases, including coordinate phrases, counts as singular if they are used as names, titles, quotations. يعني plural words and phrases المفروض هنا شنو؟ plural. ناخد are, were, have. But I put them as singular if they are used as names, titles, quotations. Listen. Crime and punishment. مفروض هذه بما أنه I put and مفروض are not is. But since they are what? Names. You see this capital letter? Capital letter, they are names. So I put is, not are, because here they are names, not plural or not two entities. The Cedars has. You know these quotations? Quotations is what? A title for something. Yeah. Senior citizens means it is what? A quotation. Means not mean. The titles of some works which are collection of stories, however, can be singular or plural طبعا. The Canterbury Tales. Canterbury Tales. It is a title for a series of works. يعني سلسلة من الأفلام، سلسلة من القصص القصيرة. For example, I can use all, plural and singular. I can exist or exists in many manuscripts. Above all, we treat يعني this is not something arbitrary. يعني I can make use of what's called notional concord and proximity. Notional from its name means notion, an idea. What is notion? Agreement of verb with subject according to the idea of number, idea, rather than the actual presence of a grammatical marker for the idea. And I mean by the grammatical marker as a plural and something like that. So with the notional, I depend on the idea, not the grammatical marker. Listen. يشوفون government treated as a plural لأن notionally it is a plural. Notionally it is a plural. You see? notionally يعني تشوفون لا بيها اس ولا بيها أي شيء إنه هذه it is a plural but I treat it as what's have not has because the idea of government contains more than one individual so it is a plural yeah but also يعني تشوفون I have and there have and there so absolutely definitely it is a plural not singular in such a context yeah here I have just a minute please let's make it more yeah. What about proximity? Proximity denotes agreement of the verb with whatever noun or pronoun closely precedes. يعني depending on what is before immediately before the verb. يشوفون هذه supporter supporters as a plural اختاريت agree not agrees no one except his own supporters يعني هذا قبل supporters كل هذا تقول لي singular لكن depending on the proximity principle depending إنه the item before the verb so I depend on what is before the verb immediately I say agree not agrees yeah please if you have any question I'm ready for your discussions